Hey guys, Casandraelf here. I apologize for getting this made so late, but life demanded my attention. That and school. School is really demanding. School and I was lazy. So yeah, anyway, expect a sporadic update schedule when it comes to my commentaries, okay? Oh, and also, one more thing. I decided that instead of using my 3 avatars for different commentaries, and yes, I do have 3 avatars, one whom I haven't used yet, I'll just be switching between them whenever I feel like it. With that said, please enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to another commentary. By the way, sorry about the crappiness of the last video. That was my first time on a video with actual dialogue instead of text. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using Kusuri instead of Utsuho, it's because I thought I'd try the nitpicky approach again. Don't worry, I'll keep it funny while making my points. Anyway, since I'm still trying to figure out how to commentate properly, I thought I'd take a look at another guy who commentators have kinda given up on. He's known as Guptill89 here on YouTube, and he's infamous for a video he did on what he thinks are the 10 hottest Sonic girls. He obviously picked Rouge the Bat as #1 because of her boobs. Anyway, you might think I'm doing that video, right? Surprise! I'm not! Actually, I'm commentating on a video that is almost as stupid. So, let's get started with the video. Well, at least he has a 36-second long intro, unlike Gyro. That said, it felt painfully long, if only for the whole Rant-A-Wreck bit at the beginning.
We all have things that tick us off in life. For example, bullies, drugs, and hard-to-control children.
Quick thing to note about what I noticed about Guptill's commentating style after watching this video. He presents himself in a fairly professional manner. This is crucial if you're doing something for a project, going in for an interview, or meeting someone important. That said, this is a rant video, not something for an assignment. He comes off like he has a stick up his ass or something.
I can ignore all of these things. However, there's one thing that's been bothering me that I can't ignore. I'm talking about these users my age and up showing their complete lack of thoughtfulness when reviewing a video game. It's like someone pursuing a PhD but only reads comic books.
Insert obligatory Linkara joke here. That said, I think you can specialize in practically anything. Whether this applies to teachers only, I'm not entirely sure.
There are 3 things that I can't stand. First of all, a few of them don't use a script. I wonder if they have written down any notes at all.
Some reviewers are good at improv. Also, for the reviewers that do use improv, they probably have notes to work with.
Secondly, many of them don't edit the footage in the videos. It's basically footage that occurs as if you turned on the video game console and started to play from start to finish.
That's generally how review videos are done. In order for the viewer to understand what you're talking about, you have to show some clips from the beginning, the middle, and the end of what you're reviewing.
And the third one is the worst of the worst. I'm sure some folks will object to this complaint. The worst part about these guys is repeated profanity and vulgar actions.
Oh boy, here we go.
Thought so. But let me explain. When you don't script yourself, you sound boring with a lot of uhs, ums, and many pauses.
Wait. What? Did he just make a good point? It's one of the 66 signs of the apocalypse! It's the end of days! Game over, man! Game over!
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
To be more specific, how would you like it if a radio or TV announcer started telling a story and had no idea how he or she would tell it? With all the stammering and time wasting, wouldn't it make you want to change the channel?
To be honest, he really does make a good point. Scripting your videos is a good idea as it helps you stay on topic and not wander off on a random tangent. After all, nothing pisses me off more than to watch a video about something serious, only to have the person talking suddenly go, "Oh look, a chicken!" and wander away from their original point.
We usually only get to see the first few levels of the game you're reviewing. That doesn't always show us the troubled points you're describing.
Sometimes all you have to do is show a little bit of a game, especially if it's bad or impossible to beat in order to prove your point. Then again, I'm not a reviewer, so I wouldn't know.
Sometimes people watching would want to see the later levels. I certainly would. I don't want to see someone continuously failing to pass a stage or level and having to start over.
There's a simple solution to that. Watch a Let's Play. Besides, if you look at people like the AVGN, they show their failures for the sake of comedy. Seriously, people, isn't it funny to watch him or someone doing a Let's Play rage as they get stuck?
The third problem, profanity and disgraceful actions, is the #1 reason why most game reviewers are hard to enjoy.
For you, maybe. But for me, people like the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd are fucking hilarious. Besides, it's not like someone's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to watch them.
This problem raises a big question. Do you absolutely think it is necessary to spew out dirty language and have it bounce off a viewer's eardrums?
For some reviewers, it's part of their shtick. The commentator Dark Angel of the Light doesn't have to use vulgar language like faggot. Ugh. But she does anyway, even though she could tone down her language at any time. Besides, Linkara is one of those reviewers who avoids using strong curse words, which means that he doesn't find it necessary to use vulgarity.
I mean, think about it for a minute or two. Do you want to know why dirty language is a huge deal? It's mostly because of two important points. The first point is, the inappropriate words being launched out of your oral cavity like bullets just make you sound quite unintelligent and not even funny in the slightest.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that dropping curse words all the time makes you sound like a drooling idiot. Why else do you not use vulgar language when writing an essay? Come to think of it, maybe I should try to tone down my language when I'm not doing commentaries.
Too many reviewers' favorite words are the F words, the A words, and the S word. Those words have basically replaced every possible adjective, noun, and interjection imaginable. I feel as if people are devoted to these words as if they were awesome presidents or prime ministers.
There's a simple reason why they use swear words in place of other words. Those other words are not always strong enough to describe certain things. Don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for clean language, but sometimes you have to swear, especially if there are no words that can accurately express your disgust for something.
Honestly, guys, can't you think of something better to say, or a better way to say it? Swear words are just a crunch! Besides, you should really take this into consideration. It's also the second point I want to make. There are children who use the internet. That's right, I said children.
Ow. Hate to break it to you, but some kids have already been exposed to curse words, be it because the kids at school curse, or because their parents do the cursing. Also, web shows like the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd are not intended for little kids.
What if a kid stumbled upon your review and started reciting out loud, "This game is a piece of shit. I can't stand this crap anymore. I'm done. Have a nice day." They'll be sent to their room with soap in their kissers, along with a glass of water and a bucket.
Jesus Christ, what time period do you live in, the 1950s? If a parent pulled that today, it'd be considered child abuse. Then again, my mom's pretty relaxed. If memory serves, I made an effort to keep from cursing in front of her when I was in high school. As she's a teacher, she probably wasn't surprised when I came home knowing swear words.
Don't you realize that when a child hears other people cuss, he or she will think that it's cool? Don't you want to set a better example than that? Hey kids, guess what? It's alright for you to mimic me because I have amazing talent. So forget about Fred and Smosh. Watch my videos. You'll be cooler than they are.
That's right, kids. Be just like me. It's okay to have an obsessive crush on little bunny girls or massive ponytails. I'm awesome. Yeah, newsflash, pal. First, that made you look and sound like a complete tool, and second, unless they have a lousy upbringing, kids are not gonna curse all the damn time. And even then, chances are they only curse when around their friends. Hell, for all we know, they do their best to act like little angels when around their parents.
Oh, man. I sure don't want to say that again.
Wait, that was a joke? Holy shit, Guptill, I thought you were serious!
To put it simply, using profanity and vulgarity during a review of a video game is unnecessary. It's also just plain boring.
Oh, really? How is it boring? Explain, oh wise one.
This suggestion is directed towards 3 reviewers that people seem to pay the most attention to.
Okay, stop. Stop right there. You are not suggesting. No. You are demanding. This whole video feels like just one big damn demand to all reviewers to just bend over backwards and make reviews that you and only you will like. I apologize for that little outburst, but I just had to get that out of my system. With that said, let's continue this travesty of a video.
Chris Bors, the irate gamer, James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, and Douglas Darian Walker, that guy with the glasses.
The AVGN, from what I understand, did the angry, swear-heavy reviews first. The irate gamer is ripping him off, and you're thinking of the nostalgia critic, not that guy with the glasses, as that's just Doug himself, basically. Also, the nostalgia critic isn't quite as vulgar as the AVGN. Bottom line, if they didn't curse, it'd take away from the comedy they do. Also, their stuff is not intended for children. They don't use a disclaimer on their stuff because they figure kids would either be unable to access their websites, or their parents would be smart enough to keep them the fuck away from their shows.
I have an idea. Why don't you revise some of your reviews when you get the chance? Sure, it's a truckload of work, but if you do that, you might just end up with more fans.
Here's an idea for you. Don't watch their fucking shows, dumb shit. If bad language drives you up the wall, then just don't watch them. It's as simple as that.
Right now, you might either be throwing a hissy fit or wondering, what would be a good review to watch? Well, luckily, I know 4 places on the net where civilized behavior is found.
Stand on the ground, jump, 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 move it all around. Tap, ta-da-do. Stand on the ground, jump, 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 jump.
That's a total of only 4 places on the net, and on one hand, where civilized reviews can be found. Think about it.
Ugh. Please tell me I'm not the only one freaked out by the way he said, think about it.
Who wants to hear a person my age or older shout loudly and curse like a sailor over a video game? Your parents tell you to stop shouting over a game when you're young, and at your age, that info should be hardwired to your cerebrum.
That's the point, dumb shit! It's funny because they're adults yelling at video games.
Even though you're acting, the cursing is abrasive and tiresome.
To you. It's not funny to you. To me and many other people, it's funny.
Let me assure you, I like the work of James Rolfe, Chris Bors, and Douglas Walker. However, there are a few things about those reviewers that make them less enjoyable.
Please go back to my last point because I am not repeating myself.
Take Mr. Rolfe's work, for instance. He puts his reviews up on 3 different websites: GameTrailers.com, ScrewAttack.com, and Cinemassacre.com. All reviews I've seen are flooded with swears and common crude phrases. His movie summaries on Cinemassacre.com are similar, except that they are not as loaded with bad language as his AVGN videos. Even if Rolfe is part of an R-rated movie site, there is no need to include things like, "They'll kick your ass till shit comes out your ears."
Then don't watch his work, asshole! You just refuted yourself by mentioning he's on an R-rated site. Only irresponsible, retarded parents take their kids to see an R-rated movie, and I'm sure the same goes for the internet. Only irresponsible, retarded parents allow their kids to look at things on an R-rated site.
I can understand crude jokes and many swears in an R-rated movie or mature-rated game since it's authentic for where the action takes place. However, in a game review, not to mention a movie or TV show review, the included vulgarity and profanity is out of line in place. If these guys used their intellect as well as their talent, the audience scale would broaden out beyond 12 to 15-year-olds.
It makes me grin how he's acting all high and mighty like he's this symbol of ultimate morality we should all aspire to. He doesn't seem to get that wimps like him and little kids are not their target audience.
Thanks a ton to everyone who has watched this, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys again sometime. Peace.
Alright, time to slay this render my verdict. The execution of this video was fairly decent, but he could have shortened his intro by a lot, or at least made it more interesting to watch. However, his arguments sucked donkey balls, and he came off like one of those old preachers, who if you do so much as breathe wrong in front of him, you'll be sent to hell. He contradicted himself at the end with his issues with swearing when he mentioned that Rolfe's work is part of an R-rated website, as stuff with an R rating is not intended for kids. Before I end the video, how about I leave you with a little something for putting up with me? Does that sound good? Okay, that's it for this commentary. This is Casandraelf, aka That Girl with the Hell Raven, telling you that it's not the size of the brain that counts, it's how you use it. See ya!
解き放つ時を